What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here. So interesting stuff happened last night or over the weekend. Um, well, to kick it off, last night the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers, one heck of a I wouldn't even say one heck of a of a game. The Pacers dominated and they won. So now they're heading back to Cleveland to play game 5 of that series, and hopefully to win it. They're up 3-1 in the series. Um, Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland, he went out with an apparent leg ankle injury, so he's getting an MRI today, and hopefully nothing is too serious. Hopefully he can come back, but I think if anything, the Cavs are gonna rest him, and they're going to get ready, prepare for next year, because it looks like, in all honesty, the Cavs aren't gonna go to 7 games. Unfortunately, I really hope they would. Like I said earlier, I had all 4 series going to game 7s, but I don't think the Pacers is gonna go to game 7, unfortunately. Other news: the Denver Nuggets. They put up a good fight against the Thunder, but the Thunder ultimately got them 92-87. So that series is now tied at 2 apiece. 2 for the Nuggets, 2 for the Thunder. Now they travel back to Oklahoma to go to game 5, and I think that series, like I said, all these series are going to go to 7 besides the Cavs and Pacers now. I switched that. So unfortunately, which I really had high hopes the Cavs and Pacers would go to game 7, but I don't think, like I said. The Nuggets and Thunder should go to game 7 if the Nuggets continue to play the way they are and the Thunder do. Hopefully the Thunder, or not just the Thunder, but hopefully the Nuggets don't, get themselves and say, oh, because we have no coach or GM, we're going to do all this stuff and end up messing around and losing. The New York Knicks, they have a 2-1 lead over the Celtics in the series. This is their 4th game. So, and it is in New York, I believe. I believe it is in New York. The Celtics, not really a big fan of, but hopefully, they tie it. But if anything, Cat and Jalen Brunson are both the dominant forces of the Knicks, and they know what to do. They know how to do it all, and Cat is just a dominant force. I mean, he is. That's the way he is. And Brunson is just a guy that can shoot threes, and he's not afraid to pass you the ball when you need it, and or anything like that. Like, he's not afraid to take like 20 points a game and then have like 30 assists, and like, he's not afraid to do that stuff. Which I love, by the way. I love that from any player, whether it's basketball, baseball, basketball, hockey, football. I love it when guys guys go and say, oh, I'll drop like 20 points, or like if it's football terms, like one player can have like 5 receptions for like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then the next game they can have like 2 receptions for 100 yards and 1 touchdown, or 0 touchdown. They don't care what their stats are at the end of the game, because it is just a game. It is just a game. Stats don't matter to me. And then NFL news: the schedule release will be this Wednesday at 8:00 p.m. So I can't wait for that, seeing what the Cleveland Browns are going to be dealing with this year. We do know that we got to face the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers twice. So 1 at home and 1 at away. That's an automatic given. We will face everybody from the AFC East. So the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and the Jets. We will face the Titans and then the Las Vegas Raiders. And then in the NFC side, we will face the Packers, Vikings, Bears, and Lions, that whole division, and then the Niners. Not really sure how. I don't really know who I would want to have our our game one or season opener. If it was me, I would rather get the division rival out of the way, so that way later down the line you don't have to worry about two of them. If you face the Bengals in week one, later down the line you'll have to face them again. Where if you face, like, if let's say we face the Dolphins in week one, then we have to face the Bengals. They could put the Bengals in week 10 and then the Bengals in week 12. So, like, I don't like that. I think they need to just start. I think every game should start with a division rival and then work their way up like that and go that way. But yeah, other than that, that's what I have. That's my news for y'all today. Like I said, I can't wait for more news. Hopefully, Donovan Mitchell's left ankle isn't that serious and they just rest him, and because I don't think that series is going to go to Game 7, unfortunately. I think that's just going to go to Game 5, and the Indiana Pacers are going to get it done. Like I said, though, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of stuff, but like I said, the Pacers, since the All-Star break, have been one hell of a team. They've been, in and out. They've been one hell of a team, and I think a lot of people doubt them because they're Indiana. They don't get talked a lot like all these teams do, and I'm a Warriors fan. I love Golden State Warriors. And, you hear Golden State about, Curry getting his 5th ring, if him and Jimmy Butler can do it done. Jimmy came over via trade months ago from the Heat, and now that was the talk. If they could get it, and if they can, the Warriors can somehow get Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry on the same page, which they have, and they've been great, which I love. But the Pacers just haven't been that team talked about. They've been in and out. You only hear one story about them, and then the next day you don't hear nothing. Where now you're hearing and you're like, oh, well, now they're up 3-1 in the series, so now they just need one more win, and then they move on to the Eastern Conference semifinals or quarterfinals. And to me, you're pretty much sitting there saying that the Pacers are good, as the Cavs are, the Thunder, Warriors, every other team in these in the quarterfinals, in the second round of the playoffs, are all equal. So that's just my take on it all. But like I said, the Nuggets, they can't fool around. They need to absolutely dominate Game 5 and win that game. The Knicks, same thing. Hopefully, if the Knicks take a 3-1 lead, don't count Boston out yet. They will still get it out. They still know how to do it. And everything. We've seen it a couple times in the past, but don't count the Celtics out just yet, and especially the Warriors and Timberwolves. Timberwolves are up 2-1. We play tonight. Warriors play tonight, so hopefully they could tie it and then go back to Minnesota for Game 5. So hopefully that can all work. So we'll see. So remember, guys, to like, subscribe, comment, and favorite, and share, and tell everybody here. Remember, let me know in the comments if you want me to do these podcasts Monday, Tuesdays, or 2 days a week, or if you want me to do them every day or every other day, whatever works for you guys. Let me know. It'll help me. It'll help the channel out. I hope you all have a good day. I will see you later. Peace.